100 million Americans, 50 plus in their families, health and financial security, and personal fulfillment. All right, go to that website, aarp.org, and learn more about AARP. AARP is committed to offering opportunities for everyone to stay involved from their homes. The Mindful Movement series provides that opportunity so you can do it and keep moving in the safety of your own home. Becca.
Hey, Margie, good morning.
Good morning, Becca. Becca, oh, I think you told us something. Oh, look at there. How about that sign?
Yeah.
How that?
I've got the AARP represented here.
Very well represented. Very well. I think you did something last week. You told us something that you wanted us to do.
I did. I gave a challenge to our viewers, our participants, about strengthening their legs and practicing some sit to stand. Repeating that 5 or 10 times every day. I gave some other options if sitting to stand wasn't great for your knees, like you could do little squats. So yeah, we're going to revisit that today. And I'm going to even give a new challenge about a different area of the body, the neck and shoulders.
Oh, sounds great. Sounds great. We like challenges. We really do. Remember, everyone, that before you begin any exercise program or routine, that you must consult your physician to make sure that it's safe to participate. Okay, Becca, take it away.
All right. Well, as Margie reminded us last week or 2 weeks ago when we had our yoga session, we focused on the legs, strengthening to help the knees, to help the hips. And I gave all of our listeners a challenge to try to do a little more of that activity that strengthens your legs, like getting up and down, from your chair 10 times. I gave you some different ways you could scale that activity to meet you where you are and provide you with the appropriate challenge. So I'd love to hear in our comments anyone who was with us last time and has been practicing their leg strengthening challenge, their sit to stand challenge, and let us know how that's been going for you. We'll do that challenge again today in our practice. However, my focus for today's session is going to be on the neck and the shoulders, and I'm going to give you a little simple daily practice, a daily 1 minute kind of thing that you can do for the neck and the shoulders. So here we go. Let's get started. We do our practice in this series from a chair. That means that lots of people can participate because it gives you that support and you don't have to get down on the floor. And when we go up to standing, you have something to hold on to if you need to. So let's start with some shoulder rolls, right? Some nice big shoulder rolls. You're sitting up tall. And you're going to bring those shoulders up towards your ears and then roll them back and down. Now let's try to bring some breathing to this. Inhale and bring the shoulders up. Exhale, back and down, forward and up, back and down. 3 more. Now, this is part of the challenge I'm going to give you for this next period of time, this next couple of weeks, is going to be rolling the shoulders 5 times. This is especially good to do if you're sitting at a desk for a while or you've been driving for a while. All right. And then after this, rolling the shoulders 5 times. Turn the head to one side and then roll that head across the chest into the other shoulder and then roll that head and chin across the chest. I'm still sitting up tall, breathing steadily. Roll that head back and forth 5 to 10 times. All right, bring that head back to center and lift it up. All right, so again, I'll revisit it at the end, but our challenge for this next time is on those shoulders, rolling them and then rolling the head to help with that neck and shoulder tension and to help promote good posture and good range of motion in the neck. All right, let's continue with some work there. Let's pull the arms, the shoulders, the elbows back and then push them forward. This is another favorite move of mine for helping that upper back and neck tension. Again, a great place for a breath. Inhale and pull back. Exhale and push forward. Inhale and pull back. Exhale, push forward. 3 more. One more. Good. Now pull those arms back, drop them down. And let's just do a little loosening up of the spine now. Reach up and over with one arm, back to center. Remember, you can modify or vary your movements as needed. So, if it's not great for your shoulder or not possible for you to get that arm all the way up by your head, well, lift it as high as it will go. Maybe place the hand on the head or the hand on the chest as you take a side stretch for the waistline. Let's do two more, one more to each side. Good, and then come back to center, sit tall, let those arms just rest either in your lap or down at your sides. Think about a little string pulling you up by the crown of your head. So you're sitting up nice and tall, and then rotate the head side to side or right and left. Just turn as far as is comfortable. You always want to avoid anything that's sharp or painful in your movements. Maybe there's stiffness or soreness. You have to decide, how much of that is okay. Now let's add a little something to this, just a little extra movement for the stretch. So as you turn your head right, drop your left arm down and just reach those left fingertips down and out. And then bring that hand back to your lap, the head back to center. As you turn left, reach the right hand down and out. So you're just reaching the opposite arm, from the direction that you're turning the head. All right, keep that going a couple more times. Good, one more each side. And then back to center. All right, let's loosen up or warm up the legs a little bit so we can do our previous challenge work. We can work on our sit to stand. But let's start with some marching in the chair. Sit up nice and tall. Pick up those legs as high as you can. Feel free to reach and grab with your hands if you need a little help, to get that leg up a little higher. Good, a couple more here. Getting some blood flowing through our hips and our leg muscles. All right, now let's go ahead and loosen up the knees and the ankles. Start with one leg at a time, bend and straighten a few times. Notice how that knee feels. Get it warmed up. Hold that foot forward now and point and flex at the ankle, the foot. Now, you may notice that I'm barefoot, but you don't have to be, right? If you've got your shoes or, socks on, that's okay, just as long as you're not going to slip or slide when we get to standing. But you can certainly do these practices with shoes on or off. Circle that ankle now a couple times. Nice big, slow circles. And go the other way. And then let's switch sides. Kick and bend at the knee first. Good. Hold that foot forward, point and flex. Circle that ankle a few times. Go the other direction. And then bring that foot back down to the ground. All right, so let's go ahead and use our sit to stand activity as our transition up to a standing position. So you're going to sit towards the edge of your chair, bring your feet back. If you need something to hold on to for steadiness or for a little assistance, you could have another chair in front of you. I'm just giving you those options so that you can figure out what's the best variation of this exercise for you to be doing to build your strength safely and steadily. All right. You could push on the chair. If you want a little more challenge, however, you can bring your arms forward. Now you're going to shift that weight forward, push, push, push with the legs, stand up straight and tall, maybe reach up. And then we're going to sit back down. Now, there's a couple ways you can modify this if you don't have quite the strength to get up out of that chair that easily or that slowly. You can lean forward and push, 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 and not quite come all the way up, right? You can just work on that initiation. Another option is to go ahead and get up to standing and then do little squats. Instead of going all the way down to the chair, you could do partial squats. All right, so I'm going to do 5 more. All right, I'm going all the way down to the chair and all the way up tall. You pick the version that works for you. Always want to try to have as much control as possible. Here's 3. I'm sitting down slowly and as softly as I can. There's 4. 1 more. Let's stay up tall. All right, coming all the way up. All right, notice how those legs feel. All right, now, if you were with me 2 weeks ago when we did our practice, maybe you noticed a certain level of tiredness in your legs. And if you didn't practice our challenge between then and now, then they probably still feel pretty tired, right? But if you've been practicing, maybe you noticed that it's getting a little easier. All right, let's use the back of the chair now if you need it as something you can touch or hold on to for balance or support. All right, and then let's stand up tall. And let's work a little bit more on that neck range of motion. Turn the head right and left. All right, now we're going to add a little arm movement to that. I'm going to pull back with my elbow as I turn. So I'm turning now my rib cage and my chest, and then come back to the front. Pull back with the elbow, turn left, back to the front. Pull and turn. So I'm twisting more than just my neck, of course. I'm twisting now through that rib cage, waist. Okay. Let's do 1 more each direction. All right, now let's turn. I'm going to go to the right. It could be either side. I'm going to do that same sort of pulling back, but this time I'm going to step back as well. Now I want to hold on to the chair. It's right there. All right, so I've stepped back with the right leg, and I'm going to bend that left knee, and then see if you can take the arms up, parallel to the ground, reaching out. We call this warrior 2 position in yoga. So again, maybe you're holding on to the chair, and then we're going to challenge our balance and continue to work with that neck range of motion, looking from the right hand to the left hand, back and forth. All right. Now, keep that head looking towards the left or towards the side where the knee is bent. And you can come down hand or elbow on the chair or hand or elbow on your knee, depending on what feels most comfortable for you. And then turn and look back to this right hand. Turn that palm up and let's sweep that arm up and over and then back down. Strong legs. Sweep, stretch to that arm and the side of your body. Good. 2 more. And last one. Bring it back up, back to warrior 2, maybe with both arms up. Good. And then step into the chair. Take a moment here to roll the shoulders. Remember that? This is going to be our new challenge. Remember? Shoulders forward and up. Inhale. Exhale. Shoulders back and down. Forward and up. Back and down. 1 more time. All right, now we're going to step back with the other leg. Now I'm going to turn around just so I'm still facing the camera, right? But make sure you're stepping back with the other leg. So I've got my left leg back, my right knee bent. Okay, warrior 2, arms up, reach out. You can hold on to the chair if you want. All right. Strong legs, lift tall through the spine, through that crown of the head. And then again, let's turn the head. Look at the right hand, look at the left hand. Good. 2 more, back and forth. All right, now we come either hand or elbow to the chair, or you can come down to the knee. All right, and that left hand, look back at that left hand, palm up, sweep that arm up and over, and then bring it back down. Up and over again. You're making the range of motion that works for you, for your shoulder, for your body. Good. Let's do 2 more sweeps of this arm. And then bring it back up to warrior 2. And then go ahead and step towards the chair. Again, take another pause here, standing, and roll those shoulders 3 times. All right, good. Now let's all use the chair for this next one. Hands on the top of the chair. This could also be a wall that you put your hands on, or like a tall piece of furniture, a dresser or a countertop also works well for this one. And just walk your legs back, getting your body as close to horizontal as works for you. Those arms are long, trying to line the arms up with the spine, pressing back through the hips. It might be that your knees are a little more bent than mine, or you might be able to get them all the way straight here. So you can play around with that to see what works. All right, now let's step the left foot forward. Again, the chair is there in front of you if you need it. All right, and if you want to keep one hand holding the chair, you can. All right, we're going to reach up, maybe look up. So let's see how the neck does with that motion. And then look down and pull those elbows back and down behind you. Reach up, maybe look up, pull down, look down. So if this was hard for my balance, I could hold on with one hand and make the movement with the other. Last 3. Head up and down, reach up and down, breathe in and out. Last one. Good, hands on the chair. Let's step back, press those hips back, lengthen out. Take another deep breath here. And then step that right foot forward, or the other foot forward. Just make sure you switch sides. I'm facing forward now this time. This is more like a warrior 1 position. So again, same thing. We're going to reach up, look up, pull the elbows back and down, look down. Let that chin drop to your chest. Reach up, pull down. Whoop, lost my balance there a little bit. I'm glad that chair was in front of me. Three more. Good. All right, one more time, stretching back. This might be considered a downward dog variation, using the chair, or like I said, using the wall. Take one more breath here. And again, walk it in towards the chair. All right, so use that chair to hold on to as needed. Let's do a little more work for our legs here, our ankles and our calves. Come up as high as you can onto the tippy toes or onto the balls of the feet, and then lower down slowly. If you want more challenge and you want to continue working with your neck range of motion, you can look up and then look down. Or maybe you want to keep your eyes steady and try letting go of the chair as you go up and down. You could try to do both, looking up and down and not holding on. That's pretty challenging on the balance. Okay, last 3. All right, good. Now just stand on one leg for a moment. Circle that foot and ankle around a bit. Switch sides. Good. All right, now we're going to come back to seated in the chair again and do a few more things for our arms, well, really our shoulders. All right, so the first one is to help us work on rotation of the shoulder, right? So sometimes we've had some injury to our rotator cuff or that sort of thing. So this one could be a challenge, but go as far as you can go without pain. Take the hands out to the side. You can bring them up high if you want, or you can let them stay down low. And then you're just going to try to bring one hand behind your head and the other hand behind your back. And then come back out to the side. And then do that the other way. Hand behind the head, or maybe it can drop down to be behind the neck. Try not to move your head forward, right? Still sit up tall. Keep that crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Couple more times. If you feel like your shoulders are loosening up, then maybe you try to bring those hands closer to one another there behind your back. Good. Last two. And bring it down, shake it out, shake those shoulders, a little shimmy shake there. A couple more rolls. And then take one arm across the chest. So use the other hand to give it a little gentle pull across. Sink that shoulder down. Think about that shoulder getting heavy, moving away from your ear. And then go ahead and tilt that head away from the shoulder that you're stretching. Right? So I've got my right arm pulled across, stretching my right shoulder, and I'm tilting my head to the left. Take another breath here. Good, and then bring that head back up. Release that arm. Take it down and shake it out a little bit. And then see if you can bring that hand, that same arm behind your back. All right. If the other hand can reach it, try grabbing hold of it and pulling that arm a little bit further behind. Again, if that doesn't work for your shoulder, just go as far as you can. Maybe you skip pulling that arm behind you to give it a little more stretch. Same thing here. I'm going to tilt my head away from that shoulder. All right, and then release, bring the head up, bring that arm back out and give it another little shake out. Just pause for a moment and notice how those two arms feel. My right arm feels somewhat longer, somewhat bigger than my left. It just feels like it's sitting in a whole different place because of all that stretching I just did to it. All right, now let's take the other side. So bring that other arm across, using the hand there to hold it. Sink that shoulder away from your ear. And then gently tilt the head away from the shoulder. Good. A couple more moments here, another breath or two. Good. And then bring the head up, bring that same arm around and behind your back. Maybe reach back there with the other arm and give it a little tug. Again, that's optional, right? Go where it feels right for you. And then the same thing, we're going to tilt the head away from that shoulder. Good, and then bring that head back up, release that arm, give it a little shake. Again, just take a moment to notice the sensation in your arms, right and left. All right, now sit forward, as forward as you can in your chair, and then start to reach back. See if you can grab anything back here behind you. So maybe it's the seat of the chair here alongside your hips or a little bit behind your hips. Depending on your chair, maybe you can reach back and hold the sides of the chair. I've noticed some chairs and some people, the arms are long relative to the chair, and they can actually reach sort of down on the legs of the chair a little bit. All right. So now wherever you've gotten that you can hold, puff that chest up, roll the shoulders back. Imagine your shoulder blades kind of giving you a little push right there in your middle back to help lift you up. And then drop that chin forward, chin towards the chest. Just let that head be heavy. Take another breath or two here. Good, and lift up the head, release those arms, bring them out in front, clasp your hands in front of you, and give a big sort of hug, like you're wrapping your arms around a tree, or you're giving someone a big teddy bear hug, round your upper back, maybe drop your chin to your chest again. And then sit up tall, release the arms. All right, let's just take a moment to breathe. Maybe place a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly. Feel your breath moving in and out a couple times. Maybe notice your heart beating. Notice if your body has warmed up a little bit through our practice. Take a special note of just how you're feeling through your neck and your shoulders and your upper back, where we've, focused our efforts today for the most part. All right, and then let's review our challenge. Now, if you want to continue both challenges, I encourage that. I applaud that, right? If you want to keep working on your leg strength, keep doing some sit to stands during your day, right? You could do it once a day. You could do a couple times a day. There's lots of ways you could adapt this to yourself, right? So you can keep that challenge going if you want. The new challenge relates to our posture and our upper back and neck and shoulder area. So here was the challenge again, to stop what you're doing for a few moments. This is especially good to do if you've been sitting at the computer or you've been looking at your phone for a while. Sit up tall. Do this with your breathing. 5 shoulder rolls, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Two more. You get benefit both from taking some deep breaths and from these movements. So 5 shoulder rolls back, and then keeping the shoulders back, drop the chin to your chest, and do 5 rolls of the head, shoulder to shoulder. All right, 2 or 3 more times here. All right, and then bringing that head back to center, lift it up. Feel good after doing 5 shoulder rolls and 5 turns of the head. So I encourage you to challenge yourself to try to do that frequently, once, twice, 3 times a day even. And we'll revisit it again when we get back together in 2 weeks for our next mindful movement yoga session. Thanks for joining us today. As always, give us your comments, your suggestions. We love to hear from you. And we always appreciate you joining us here at AARP Alabama. Oh, there's Margie. I can't hear her. What was that, Margie?
Thank you. I'm still here. Anyway, sometimes I bring my shoulders up when I'm doing my head roll. So I got to remember to keep my shoulders relaxed.
Keep those shoulders down. Yep.
Yeah, keep those shoulders down. But thank you. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. We look forward to your comments. Please join us again for Mindful Movement with AARP Alabama. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day.